Recording in
I need to be able to see that, bro. Okay. Right. Okay. So managing family finances. Let's go to the next slide, please. So this is the agenda we're going to go through. I'm going to tell you my story in terms of family finances. We're going to talk to you about the CAP approach. CAP stands for Christian Against Poverty. And then the free is available. Uh,
Was good, Shorty. Was good, Shorty. Now you got that.
So my story. So let's start with this one. So I'm somebody just like Pastor Shola has mentioned. I'm somebody know that I'm very. I thought I was very on top of my finances. So we have a budget, trying to keep to it, and things like that. But we struggled, in terms of actually keeping on top of our finances. And it was one of the number one arguments, that we have in our house. In the sense that, you have the money there, and before the end of the month, the money is like gone down, you are in overdraft, things like that. And it was quite frustrating for me because on one hand, you have the budget here that you're trying to work to. But in reality, you're not living to the budget you set out for yourself. So there was this kind of friction, especially when we have things that needed to be done around the house. Because we need to do this thing right now. I need to do it right now. But where is the money going to come from? And so it was because of friction from time to time. And it was really frustrating for me because it's like I knew the thing in theory, but I was not experiencing it in my life. So I don't know whether anybody can relate to that. So I always thought that if I can just get extra money, if I can get the extra amount of money, it will help to solve and ease this pressure. So let's go on. So in April 2021, my prayers was answered. I got a 10% salary increase. How many people like 10% increase in their salary? You know. So and then as you can see, you can see I was smiling there. That's not me, but you can see I was really pleased. I was really, really pleased, about the whole situation. But something happened. The first month, I think it was in May 2021, 1 month after I received the salary, the same problem still persisted, right? So it was still like minus. When I looked at it at the end of the month, it was like minus. So what's going on there? I have a 10% increase in salary, and yet I'm still having the same problem. So clearly, that thing was not working. And something is wrong that I needed to fix. So I put myself on a CAP money course. And I said CAP stands for Christian Against Poverty. I heard about them before, but when Christian Against Poverty, I like his name. I never before in Jesus' name. Abraham, I have the blessing of Abraham, stuff like that. But after the reality kicked in, I just went on the course. And in that course, I'm going to talk you through the principles that are put in place that actually, help us get, financial, get our finances better under control. So from June 2021 onwards, I can see, we began to experience what I call money peace. So no more argument around money. Things were made better controlled. Rather than before the end of the month was longer than the month. The money was the month was longer than the money. All those kind of things were out of the way. Overdraft, gone. So let's go on. And as a testament to that, actually, in August 2022, my bank wrote me. They wrote both of us, and myself and my wife. Sir, we noticed that for the past 1 year, you've not been using your overdraft. Do you want us to take it away from you and stuff like that? I just told my wife, I said, see, this is a testament of the fact that what we are doing is working. To the extent that the bank had to write us that, do you see want this overdraft or not? Okay, let's go on. Now, what I did not tell you was that 10% increase was a temporary promotion. It was a 6-month temporary promotion. So by September, October 2021, I was back to my, the substantial salary that I was before. And yes, from that, even from before that time onwards, everything has gotten sorted out. So I want to teach us, I want to share with us some of the practical things that were learned from the CAP money course, that actually we want to share it with us and want to implement in our lives. And I like the CAP money course so much that when I finished that training, I actually got in touch with them. I said, I want to actually take on this course and actually teach others. I've been doing that since November 2021. So I want to share with us the CAP approach. What is the CAP approach? It's first one is building and balancing a budget. Now, when I say what is a budget is simply something that gives you an idea of the money that comes in and the money that goes out as a family or as an individual. That's all it is. But we're not just about building the budget, it's about actually balancing the budget. It's going to give us some of the key tools or principles that we can use to balance the budget. And the next thing about the CAP approach is that we're going to share with us what the CAP money system is. The CAP money system, what does it look like? How does it help you to practically be able to make sure that you control your finances better rather than your finances controlling you? And then the last one is maintenance and debt management. I'm not going to go too much into debt management. I'm going to do a bit more about debt management. You've actually got the CAP money course, and if you need some more support around that. So let's go on. Building and balancing a budget. So you need to capture all your incomes. And this is very, very important in the sense that you need to bring out what? Your bank statements. You need to bring out your credit card statements. You need to bring out all these other things. And then set out exactly, how much am I earning? How much are we earning as a family? So look at your salaries, look at your benefits and pensions, look at your side hustles. You do maybe you do Uber, maybe once a month or whatever. How much do you get as a family in a year for all these things? And then you also need to capture your expenditure as well. Capture all your expenditure, your monthly expenses, your expenses that come in quarterly, and your annual expenses. Right? Then let's go on. So this is an example of your income. Just like I mentioned, what's your salary, the source of your salary, how much you earn every month. Write it down. And the one thing about our budget is that we need to be very forensic about it. We need to be very honest. I'm not talking about how much you are going to earn. Talk about how much you are earning now. How much are you earning as a family, as an individual now? The different sources of income, write it down. You can put it in a spreadsheet. You can write it down on pen and paper. You can use maybe some sources online. The one that I use and the one that we use is that the CAP, when you go on the CAP money course, they provide you like an online budgeting tool. So that's the one that we use. And it is very easy to use. It's very adaptable for you to use it to suit to your own particular situation. So that's what we use as a family. I used it, my also had our own, and then we combine it together and we look at our finances better. So you look at all your income, various sources of income that comes onto you, write them down. Not just in your head, a lot of people have budget in their head. And that's why it's not working in life. Write everything down. Bible says, write the vision and what? Make it plain. So that you will run and read it. Okay, let's go on. And then expenditure. So when it comes to expenditure, this is the one that we really, really need to pay even more attention to. Because income is pretty much straightforward. We're going to be honest with you. Yeah, you have salary, maybe you have one or two side hustles. Okay, you sell things on eBay. You can't have an idea what your income is. It's the expenditure part, that we're not going to struggle with. And for the CAP money course, it divides into different categories. So, for example, your home. When you think about your home, I think about, for example, your rent and mortgage. How much do you spend monthly on your rent or your mortgage? And then look at, these are some examples, ground rent, council tax, water, your utility bills, TV license, and all the sorts. But that's just for the home aspect. Then your living expenses. What about your weekly shopping? How much you spend on clothes? Maybe some of us don't have idea how much you spend on. If I just feel like I just go to the shop and just swipe, So then that's when the bank statement and the credit card statement will come to us. It will help you to actually forensically, carefully go through the whole thing. Okay, let's go on. And then look at different other areas, like how much you spend on travel. Travel will mean like things like bus pass, travel card, how much you spend on petrol, all these other things. How much you spend on family if you have children, childcare, school costs, how much you spend for lunch. If you have pets, how much you spend on your vet bills or your pet insurance, your future needs, things like birthday and Christmas. Many of us don't plan for this. Just like, Christmas is coming. Oh yeah, what do we do? Okay, we buy turkey, we buy things, we buy that, and then that's why usually when it comes to January, January is the longest month because people have overextended themselves in December celebrating Christmas. But we're going to look at tools that will help us to actually make plans for things like this future needs. So now, once you've done your income, you've done your expenditure, and then you compare. So if you're in a good place, if your income at the end of the month is more than your expenditure, you can really hit a sigh of relief, even if it's maybe £10, at least you are in the black. Okay. But if your expenditure is more than your income, then you need to say, what do I need to do in order to make sure that I balance my budget, or we balance our budget as a family? There are three things that you can do. You can cut costs, you can cut back, or you can cut out. The first one, cutting costs, is that, for example, just an example, and you can switch your broadband. Like in our own case, I think it was November last year. Those we were looking at our bank statements, how are we spending almost £40 on broadband? What's going on? So we called our broadband provider and said, this £40 look a bit so high. Why can't you reduce it? He said, you've been paying it since May. I said, okay. And it was like, okay, yeah, but you can reduce it. You say, no, that if you want to go, we can go, that just give us 30 days notice. Really? Okay. So what we did, we shopped around and we got it for about £25. And we left them the same, maybe the speed and stuff like that, but getting it cheaper. Another one also happened, it was just about 3 years ago, for home insurance. For some reason, I needed to get home insurance at very, very short notice. So I got one that was a bit expensive. It was about £50 a month. But because it was very urgent, we just bought it. We used it. The following year, it automatically just renewed. And I didn't pay close attention to the increase to £60. So last year, they then wrote, I was not waiting for them. So last year, 1 month for it to expire, they then wrote, they said, we're going to also renew, it's going to include the £70. I can't pay £70 for home insurance. So I left it, and then I shopped around, and I got one for £20 a month. So that over the course of the year, that's saving of £600 on home insurance alone. So it is important for us to make sure that we shop around. You should actually go through your various subscriptions and the services and actually know how much am I paying, when is it due, when is it due for renewal, and how can I do shop around to make sure that I just don't unnecessarily throw money away. Because one thing about this is that most of these providers, they do not reward loyalty. The more loyal you are to them, the more they will take advantage of you. They usually give the best deals to attract new customers. So if you need to look at your home insurance, mobile phone, broadband, car insurance, life insurance, everything, just look around. All these things look at that auto renew every year. Make sure you're checking around, you're getting the best deal going forward. Now, what do we mean by cut back? Cut back is that you're still doing the same thing that you are doing, but you're doing it less. So for example, just an example, maybe you work Monday to Friday, you buy coffee every day. Maybe you buy it once a day. Can you reduce it from 3 times a day, 3 times a week, so 5 times a week to 3 times a week? Can you reduce the number of takeaways? You do takeaway every week, every Friday. You treat yourself. Thank God it's Friday, and then you splash. Can you reduce that? Some people are laughing to them. So I know that I'm talking to some people. There was a time that years back I wanted to get some extra amount of money. So I was doing like pizza delivery. It was like 6, 7 years ago. In houses that I go to almost every weekend, they were spending like up to £50 on pizza. They'll buy pizza, they'll buy the cookie dough, they'll buy this everything. And yes, you ask those people now, have you ever invested? Can you I don't have money to invest. These are why. Because people are not paying close attention. We're not saying that you should not at least try and enjoy life, but at the same time, you try and make sure that you are conscious of where your money is going. I was discussing with somebody, or somebody brought to my attention when I was going through these kind of things with the people, and somebody said, well, the person went back to look at their expenses, and then they realized that they were spending even more than £200 a month to take away. So now, cut out. It means that you don't stop it completely. For example, the gym membership, 1st of January, we have the New Year resolution. You don't finish 31st, high five, Happy New Year, and then you got to sign up for the gym. And then before Valentine's, February 14th, yeah, stopped. It's a long time that stopped, and then for the rest of the year, nothing. And then you got to renew it. No, stop it. And that's subscriptions to magazines that are old. Go through your bank statement and things that are not really helpful or useful. Let us stop them. Let's go on quickly. So I'm going to talk about the cap money system. So we talked about the principle around building your budget, being honest about things, your income and your expenditure. Then we talked about the fact that steps you can take to balance your budget. Now, how can you actually implement that? Because that was something that was lacking in my own life and in our family. So the cap money system works by you having 3 accounts. The first one is the regular payment account. The second one is a cash account. The third one is the savings account. I'll explain what each one stands for. Your regular payment account is where your salary or your income goes into. And it is from your regular payment account that all your direct debits and standing orders goes for. So that's the only thing that you use your regular payment account for. Your income and all your direct debits and standing order. So let's take an example. Let's say, for example, somebody earns £1,000 a month after tax. Okay, this is just an example. So when he gets paid, and let's say the person has calculated, and then he has realized that for his direct debits and standing order, it is £1,000. You leave £1,000 in the regular savings account, in the regular payment account, and then let's say, for example, the cash account where your weekly spend goes is like £700. You transfer £700 into your cash account, and let's say, for example, your savings account, you need savings. We're going to expand more on what the savings entail. You need 300. So you have 1,000 in the regular payments account. You transfer 700 into your cash account, and then you transfer the balance, the 300, into your savings account. So what that does is that you have ring-fenced your direct debit and your standing order. So everything is not mixed up together in the same place where maybe you have maybe it's the middle of the month. You say, I still have £500 left. Let's withdraw £100. Not knowing that you still have £500 direct debit that are going to go out before the end of the month, and then you then go overdraft. And one day, how did they get overdraft? You went overdraft because the money was there, but it was supposed to be for something else. So this way of separating your expenditure will actually help you. Will actually help us to stay better and to control our finances. That's a very, very important principle. That's something that was missing in our lives. And by the time we're going to implement this whole system, things just became easier, better. No more stress. No more like checking. I hope this doesn't go into overdraft. Sending money, sending money. Also, it all stopped. It all just disappeared. It was a non-event anymore. So let's go into each of them and what you're doing. So here's the pictorial representation of what we are talking about. I've already explained it to us. So you see that your income will go into your regular payment account, and then you add together all your direct debit and your standing order. You should see that for your bank statement. You make sure that money is available in your regular payment account. And then you calculate how much you need for your cash account, your weekly expenses. You're almost like your discretionary spend. Things like you spend on petrol, maybe like your lunch, travel, weekly shopping, clothes, all those kind of things. To some extent, those things, some of them are within your control. That's what goes to your cash account. And with the example that we are using, that the £700 will go there, the £1,000 will stay in the direct debit, the regular payment account, and then the £300 will go into the savings. So let's go forward, please. That of the graphical representation. So again, these are some examples. Now, everybody's financial situation is different. So you want to make sure that you use the system to make sure that it suits your particular situation. Okay? So this is just an example that I'm using. That, for example, in your regular payment account, these are some of the direct debit that goes out. Maybe your rent or your mortgage, council tax, utility bills, TV license, if you have a TV package, Virgin or Sky or whatever, mobile, you know, personal loan and credit card, all those ones will go out of your regular payment account. I do understand that, for example, for mobile phones, for example, some people have pay as you go. So in that situation, that should go into your cash account. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later. Now, the next one, so let's go on. The next one is actually the cash account. So what are the things that you make provision for in your cash account? So before I talk about the cash account, on the whole, your regular payments account is usually a current account. The same thing too will apply to your cash account. Because the idea of the cash account is that you should be able to actually go to the cash point and withdraw the money if you need it. So usually it should be in a current account that has a debit card attached to it. So for the cash account, things like I said, like your weekly shopping, travel card, you're giving your tithes, if you have a budget for clothing, all those kind of things, or takeaways, all those kind of things. So there are some of them, they are like discretionary. For example, you can make an adjustment with your weekly shopping. So if your weekly shopping is, for example, £100 a month, £100 a week, and then it seems like maybe things may not balance. You can get, I'm not going to shop in Waitrose this week. I'm going to shop in Aldi. You understand? So there's a level of flexibility, for you to be able to balance things there. But I know it's not necessary for everything inside the cash account, but that gives you an idea of what should be in the cash account. And then now, for you to effectively calculate your the correct amount that will go into your cash account, if you have weekly spend. So let's say, for example, somebody spends £10 a week on travel. You need to multiply your weekly spend by 4.3. The reason for that is that there are some weeks in the month where you have 5 weeks. There are some weeks that have 4 weeks. So in order to smooth all those ones out, when you do your calculation, okay, I spend £10 a week on travel. So in actual fact, in a month, you should make provision for what's 4.3 times 10. So for the £3 a month for your weekly spend on travel. Does that make sense? So that's how you do your calculation. If something's in weekly, multiply by 4.3, so I get the whole monthly spend of what it is. That's to take into account, some weeks where you have 5 weeks, or some weeks that you have 4 weeks in the month. And so let's go to the savings. So the savings account, I just use some figures just to bring some things to light and to draw our attention to some things that we may not necessarily have been paying attention to. And for us as well, that was the thing. For you to calculate your monthly amount that goes into your saving account, you need to first of all think about what are the short term, medium term, and long term, savings that we need, or expenditure that we need, which may not be coming out regularly every month. So, for example, maybe you have a family holiday every year. This example, I feel that it costs £600 every year. When you go away in summer. What you need to do is that you need to calculate, okay, it's going to cost £600. So you calculate over a 12-month period, divide that by 12, that's £50 a month. So when you're doing your when you're making provision for your savings account, you need to make sure that, okay, I need to be putting aside £50 into my savings account towards a family holiday. And then the same thing also happens for Christmas. Christmas comes the same day every year, and you can make plans for it, right? So you just need to sit down and say, okay, how much on average as a family do we spend on Christmas? In this example, I use £200. Probably it's going to be more than that. So that means every month we need to put aside £16, 67 pence as savings towards Christmas spend. And then it goes on and on like that. And you see that birthdays, we also have birthdays in our family. And whether you like it or not, you celebrate. Like the latest one that we had, I told my wife, we are not doing much. So we just bought something for our daughter. And the next day, I want to go to a Chinese restaurant. Oh, I want a present. You see? I just told my wife, I think this is only part of the budget, but just forget it. So let us go. But provision has been made towards that. One of the things that stresses us out is that when the provision has not been made, then the expert is in your face. That adds to the pressure of the thing. Like some weeks back, we went out. By the time we came back, our back door, the key to our back door was broken inside the lock. Was broken inside the lock. So when they came, when they just this thing was broken, I was about to start shouting. I said, it's not, there's nothing you can do. You have to repair. You have to repair. It was a back door. We couldn't lock it. So we called the locksmith, and then the locksmith said, call out the 60 pounds or something. That's even before he looked at what the thing is and everything was like 160, 170 pounds. Well, because provision has been made for home repairs, so you can see down the line there, home improvement, home repairs. We are putting aside money every month towards this kind of things. So we need to make sure that we make provision for all these things. So that if in case something like that happens, there's something that you can go back to address those things. And then you don't have to now put it on the credit card. You don't have to put it into overdraft. You don't have to keep on praying and talking. This thing, as I was reflecting on it, this is like the Joseph principle. It's like the Joseph principle, the wisdom that God gave Joseph, in the book of Genesis 37. At the time of plenty, they put aside 20%. What was the time of famine? We're not eating everything. You're putting something aside. And the time of famine came, there was more than enough for them and then to sell, and even though to sustain the whole world, the whole known world around them at that point in time. So it is important that we regularly do this. You make provision of savings. And all this just short-term savings. There's still some other savings that you can do. For example, now maybe some of us maybe want to buy a car. You can say over maybe I don't know, maybe over a 24-month period. How much will the car cost, or how much will the deposit for a car cost? And then you need to put something aside towards that. Or for children going to school, or or you want to buy a house or buy a property, all those kind of things. You make like a 3-5 year or plan, and you need to put something towards it. So we like a lot of sometimes we like a lot of something miraculous. God will drop 1 million pounds into your account, go to the thing. That's what now. Tomorrow, somebody's going to get 1 million. And then let me ask you, the times you've been doing that, how many times have you had such things? But if you do these things regularly, even if you sow your seed, you see that God will open more opportunities to us. So let's make sure that we try and implement this principle. Let's go forward. I think I spent so much time on this one. Now, what the CAP money does, I mentioned that CAP stands for Christian Against Poverty. And it's a Christian charity, actually. And they set up this CAP money course in 2008 is to empower people to get better grip of their finances so that they control their money, so their money controlling us. And they work in partnership with more than 1,100 churches to provide these courses to churches and also to use it as a form of outreach into their community. Now, over 10,000 people every year take part in the CAP money course. Last year, I looked at the annual report for CAP for last year. Over 16,000 people went for the CAP money course. And the thing about the CAP money course is that it is absolutely free. It is free. You sign up, it is free. You get a workbook that you work through. Everything is free. And also the online budgeting tool that I mentioned also is free for life. Once you go on the course, you get access to it. And you can then use that tool, it's free for life. And nobody's going to ask you, nobody's going to be carrying you for money, or stuff like that. So it's very important, it's very, very useful, and I cannot recommend it too much enough. So as I said, it's a free course that will teach you budgeting skills, and how to get to grips with your finances, how to budget, save, and prevent debt. Now, this is just one of the quotes. It says, because of the CAP money course, I have paid off my mortgage arrears 6 months earlier than originally planned. Now, on the right side, you talk about the features of the CAP money course, which we've already gone through, the principles of it, in that building and balancing the budget, the CAP money system, implementing it, That's what helps you to actually implement, the balancing your budget. And then using cash, the principle of using cash. Now the last one, the cap money cost, the cap money plus. The cap money plus is a service that is provided whereby if somebody is struggling to keep on top of their finances, either their day-to-day living or they are struggling with unmanageable debts. Once people go on the cap money course, you can self-refer to go on cap money plus because they are like trained they are trained people in debt management. The people who offer the course, like me, I'm not trained in debt management, so I can't give get advice. But if people go on the cap money course, you can self-refer, and within 5 days, someone will get in touch with you to help you and to walk you through the different options available for you to actually manage your debt. And there's a lot of testimonies, that say that about me. That's just one. I could see that. Let's go to the next slide. In terms of the cap money course. So let's just pick one. Let's just pick this one. So since completing the cap money course, I've used the budget, save, and spend model to get to grip with my finances. I was able to go on holiday for the first time in years, pay for Christmas, and even for my wedding. So, so it speaks for itself. But by all means, so let's go to the next one. So, how do you get on the cap money course? You want to get on the cap money course. So they said if you Google cap money course, it will bring you to the website. And then if you go on get help, and then you scroll down, and then you can choose a cap money course. I've actually set up one which is going to start on the 15th of April for 3 weeks, run for 3 weeks consecutively. You can book yourself on that one. I set it up this morning, someone has already booked on it. I said, and everything is free. You don't have to choose mine. You want to go another one that's more convenient for your timing, because the one that I set up is for 15th is a Saturday and 6 p.m. 6 p.m. on the Saturday, starting on the 15th of April, and then the consequent weeks after. So 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Like I said, go to the cap money course, cap money website. You can see different courses that are available. This one is being offered, virtually, so everybody can join from anywhere. So that's just the thing there. But by all means, if you just think, nah, I'm still not convinced about it, I want to plead with us to at least implement the principles that I shared with us. Maybe hitherto you've not thought about your finances this way before. Everything just mixed up together in one place. And it's like you're struggling from time to time. You may have a savings account that you hardly ever use, but you need to use this principle. I believe to really bless us. As it has been a blessing to me, other people as well have mentioned. God bless us in Jesus' name.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Hallelujah. I thought we should clap more because we are not playing it.